Hello everyone, today I am here to talk to you about this book right here, Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins. Rebel Belle is the first in a trilogy of the same name, and it's one of those books that seems like a lot of book nerds have read, that it isn't a popular book, but in certain book reading communities it's pretty popular, so I thought I'd give it a try, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. This book is the first person perspective of a girly girl named Harper who, just after being crowned homecoming queen, is almost stabbed by a teacher and is given a superpower by a janitor, and all because she didn't put lip gloss on. Yeah, I expected it to be a lot cheesier than it ended up being, so I guess that's a plus. This is a very fast-paced book, and I kind of like that about it. Like, every time that I sat down to read it, I read like over 100 pages. Now that I think about it, I only sat down to read it twice. I read it in 2 sittings. Whoops. It's a very fall through the pages kind of book, you know, I love stuff like that. Yeah, overall I really enjoyed it, and that's all I can really say without spoiling. So if you have not yet read Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins, looks like this, definitely pick it up, highly recommend. It was a little predictable, I feel like, but I will talk about all that in the spoilery section of the video, so if you have not read this book yet, so long. How long have we waited for a strong female lead who kills people and fights and gets into combat who isn't a tomboy? How long have we waited for a character like Harper, honestly? I remember seeing some post on the internet one time basically said something similar to that, where why does she have to be a tomboy? Why can't she kill people with her high heels? And as soon as she did kill someone with her high heels, I immediately thought of that. My one complaint about this book is that it was extremely predictable. Extremely predictable. I guessed most of the things that happened, big or small, like very, very, very predictable. Which is interesting because it wasn't any kind of cliche. I mean, this is a very creative book, it's a very unique concept. It was so predictable. For example, as soon as Harper said that she hated David, I knew they were gonna fall in love at the end. Like, despite the fact that she had a boyfriend, like, it was just the way that she talked about how he teased her. Like, Ryan calls it pulling her pigtails at one point. Like, that's exactly what was happening. He was trying to bother her, he was trying to get her attention. She was just so oblivious to it. It was like, girl, come on. He has a nickname for you. He calls you Prez. And you get mad at your boyfriend for giving someone else a nickname. Girl. She was also very slow to pick up the fact that she had a superpower. Like, okay, so this guy dies dramatically on the floor and blows something into your mouth that makes you feel powerful. I wonder what it is. It's not like a superpower. Then she can't hit David, so I'm like, okay, so this guy's job clearly had something to do with protecting David. Originally that's what I thought it was, like she was supposed to like stop all conflict whatsoever. I didn't quite catch on until like she tried to hit, who was it, Brandon, I think? Bee's boyfriend, and after I realized that it didn't apply to everyone, like she wasn't supposed to be like really, really good, I was like, oh, well, then she must only have to protect David, and that's gonna be what causes you to fall in love because you can't hurt him, and then he's gonna realize that, you know, he doesn't want to hurt you because you don't want to hurt him. The one thing I did expect to happen that didn't end up happening is that I thought that David and Harper's first kiss was going to be that Harper was going to die dramatically just as the janitor did, and then right before she died she was going to kiss him and give him the power so that he could protect himself. I mean, that might happen later in the series, I don't know, but that's what I was kind of expecting that didn't happen. But even things as simple as this thing right here. Was there a flash of movement over by Miss Anne Marie's? I ran in that direction. But just as I reached the tea room, the door swung open. I didn't even have time to register that someone was coming out of that door before plowing directly into him. I wonder who it'll be. It's definitely not David because he is the one that this book has become about. Let's keep reading. Let's find out. My breath was sawing in and out of my lungs, burning with the sharp night air that stole me back from ellipses. David. The ellipses is what made it look like it was supposed to be suspenseful. It's just disappointing that it's so obvious who it's gonna be, what's gonna happen. Oh my gosh. It's sad. It's not sad. It's disappointing. It's very disappointing. I also have to say that the action of the dance when she got there was very abrupt because, you know, it was this whole huge build up to, you know, big day of the dance where she would have to, you know, dance in her white dress that she saw herself dying in and all this, and it was such big build-up, and then we go from kissing David, finally, I will say, despite knowing it was gonna happen, it was kind of cute. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. The whole, okay, I just wanted to know, but that's, now that we know, it's a problem for another day. Of like, okay, that was cute. I knew it was happening, but it was cute. Oh my gosh, every time she tried to deny her feelings for him, I was like, it's just so obviously gonna happen. Like, how does one person get this dumb? I don't want to call her dumb, but like, oblivious. How do you get so oblivious, that kind of thing? What was I talking about before this? Yes, the dance. We go from kissing David to almost being stabbed by Anna Marie. It just, we skipped the calm before the storm, so to speak. I was kind of surprised that nobody major died. Like, we had Sailor, who passed her power on to Ryan, which I guess I didn't expect that, but I knew something was gonna happen. I knew one of the main characters was gonna die eventually, but, and I will say, I will be kind of disappointed. I sound so morbid saying this, but I will be kind of disappointed if none of our main characters die by the end of this series, because I mean, it's just setting up for it, and it's just not as exciting if we don't get a tragic death that makes you feel things, you know? Well, if someone does die, we know it won't be Harper because it's written in first person, unless we get some sort of like, and then I saw these dead people and realized it was time to move on or something poetic. I don't know. Odds are if somebody dies, it's not going to be her, unless we start switching points of view. That'd be interesting. I'd like to see David's point of view here. That'd be interesting. Ooh. There is definitely promise for a good trilogy, because we still don't know the relevance of her sister being dead. Like, that could unlock this whole mystery about the paladin or something. I'd be interested to see why, like, she keeps blocking out every thought about her sister, who people say she's so much like, and it really bothers her to even bring it up. Like, maybe it's just character development. I really hope it's not just character development. This better be relevant if we're gonna put it in here. If it's just character development that she just wants to forget about her dead sister, like, that's okay. But I'm lowering the bar for myself so that when it's not as good as I'm hoping, then like, it'll be above that anyway. With the way this author's writing, I don't know. It's hard to say. It might be great. It might be relevant. It might unlock something huge. Just have to keep reading to find out. Also, I would like to know what happens with Mr. Hall, because he was the janitor who, you know, was pretending to be old and then got stabbed, and then she realized that like his beard was fake and like his stomach was fake and all this. Like, again, what's the relevance of that? Why did he feel like he needed to change his appearance? Like, did the enemy know what he looks like? Or is he just kind of trying to look more the part of a irrelevant janitor? It'd be interesting to see if, like, this new group, which, how weird is this new group of paladins? I think they said something about it, like, ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, and the guy that she dumped him for. I think Ryan said something like that. It's a creative kind of love triangle, because it's not a love triangle in the sense, it is a love triangle, but it's not one person's in love with the one while the other's in love with the other, just they're all trying to win the affection. No, they all know exactly where they stand, and they're all kind of on good terms. It's hard to say with Harper and Ryan if they're really on good terms, but I feel like now that they're on the same team, they'll probably be much better with it. They'll definitely have to work together with some of it, and I feel like by the end of it, Ryan will be like, take David and go. You guys are cute. Just go. I'm fine. And yeah, now that B is missing, like, we don't, like, where do they just disapparate to, essentially? They're disapparating. Let's not call it teleporting. They disapparated. It was a nice ending. It wrapped up everything for the book, but it also left just enough unanswered questions to keep answering in future books. So I already reserved the second book in the series, and I definitely will be reading it, hoping it's a little less predictable than this one was, or there's some sort of huge twist in it, but we will see, I guess. And that's all I have to say. That's all I have to say for this book. Leave a comment with your favorite parts of the book if you've read it. If you've not read it, what are you doing at the end of this video? I just spoiled so much. What are you doing? If you haven't read it, pick it up, I guess. Now that you know everything that happens, I hope you are still interested in reading it. Don't spoil in the comments. I would like to read this blind, and I do read every comment I get, so I feel like I'd recommend it to people who kind of like a different kind of contemporary book, I mean, everybody wants a different kind of contemporary book. This one isn't really a dystopia, it just kind of incorporates sci-fi into a realistic kind of world. I like that it's not strictly sci-fi because, I mean, I do watch Doctor Who, of course, but that's a different kind of super sci-fi kind of thing. Like, if you try to incorporate aliens into an ordinary world, I'm not really gonna enjoy that book as much. I don't really know why. There's no suggestive material, there's no like graphic, no extremely graphic deaths. It's a lot of death though, because that's kind of the premise of the book. I'm gonna stop rambling now, so subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. I will have another video up next month, probably, about the book that I talked about reviewing last month, which can be found here. Like if you liked, I think that's all I have to say. So long! We didn't get to see how the dance started, we didn't get to see, you know, the escorting and everything. It was just, stabbing and, time, yeah. I've got Mary Beth over here, my MB. Stop talking, Cassidy. I will have another video up next week of the book that I talked about. Did I just say next week? I don't post that much. I like that it's not strictly Wi-Fi. I need a second. With this one, it's kind of a... It's a different kind of sci-fi. I don't know. I wouldn't call it sci-fi at all. Maybe fantasy. I'm not good at recommending things. I'm sorry. Let's do an age range. Teenage and above, maybe a little younger than that. Not really a popular book, but people who are into... There's a reason I blame Spam a lot for all of my problems.